Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Last Word Music. And today, we got another banger for you. We got yours truly, Charlie Owens. We got Dimitri. We got Scott Boyce. How are we doing?
Dude,
We
I'm doing
doing
good
fine,
today.
Chuck. Thanks for asking, bro.
Doing good. How about you, Chuck? How you doing?
Bro, no one ever asked me that, man.
I got you. I
I'm
got
doing
you.
pretty good, bro. I'm doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good. That's good, man.
Before we get into the classic album review, we got a classic album today. We want to give a little shout out to our boys Clark and Chris. They're doing this little thing, bars for SARS. So if you live in the Oregon area, make sure to pick them up. They're little like shortbread cookie cake type things, and all of their profits, man,
It tastes
are
good.
going to be going to COVID-19 relief. So they're pretty fantastic. I bought $20 probably a few weeks ago, man. It's a good investment. It's going to a good cause. Definitely picks them up. Bars for SARS. We'll leave some, and then we'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go check them out. But please go show them some love because they're doing good things. But anyway, to the classic album review today, we got arguably one of the most legendary albums of the 2000s. At least I've heard, the Carter 3 by Lil Wayne. Now, personally, I just want to say this.
Hold on, Chuck. Are you gonna spoil? Are you gonna spoil your thoughts on this review? Okay. We cool.
Personally, I've never been a big Lil Wayne fan myself as an as an album creator. I've never been a big fan.
Chuck, one thing I will say, man, is I think Lil Wayne's status, kind of overwhelms his actual music in the sense of I agree with you. But like the musical output is not as good as the legend, the myth of Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Weezy, Lil Tune.
Weezy, Lil Tunchi.
Now,
I
do mess with him as a feature artist. 100% mess with him as a feature artist. However, when he's carrying an entire project, it's kind of difficult for me sometimes.
That has been kind of the knock against him.
Definitely, I mess with bits and pieces of Carter 5. I didn't really listen to Funeral, even though Scott did a great review on that. Go check it out. But you know what, man? Without further ado, let's just get right into it. Hey. So, first off, Dimitri, what'd you think about the Carter 3?
Hey, but before I say anything about the review of this album, I do want to say that I'm sure this thing needs no introduction. It's probably one of the most maybe the most iconic album from when did it drop? 2008.
2008. Rap album of the year.
It's probably the
triple platinum record.
One of the most iconic albums of the 2000s. It's widely considered Wayne's best body of work. I was introduced to Wayne mainly, other than a Millie and stuff like that. I was introduced to him.
7 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot, 7 foot. Off the Carter 5. That was my first, Carter 5. That was like my first full length Wayne album that I listened to, and I enjoyed it pretty thoroughly. Even considering that it had been basically locked up by Birdman for like 5 years, it didn't really sound dated to me. It sounded still pretty fresh.
I really messed with the Carter 5.
I thought it was a pretty good return to form for Wayne because I went back and listened to Carter 4 and it wasn't hitting as much for me. Stuff like that. Going into this album, I was pretty excited because I never listened to the full thing. I knew of, just like the absolutely legendary singles off of this thing or legendary hits off of this thing. I don't know if A Million, 6 foot, 7 foot, and Lollipop were chosen to be singles, but I know those kind of came on or went on to be like the most defining songs.
Yeah, 6 foot, 7 foot was not here, but
4, wasn't it?
A Million and Lollipop were from here.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah. But A Million and Lollipop, yeah, definitely on the. And I'm pretty sure Lollipop was a single, but my main problem with this record, it's too long. For me, it's too long, man.
Hour and a half.
I enjoy Wayne as much as the next guy. I know he's a legend in the game, one of the most influential rappers to ever come out of the rap game in general. Easily, probably out of Louisiana, inspiring a lot of the new, having a great influence on the new age of rapping with Drake, especially kind of being Drake's kind of mentor. early in
Yeah.
his career.
He's influenced a lot of trap musicians too. Like I
Yeah.
can definitely see some of his influence rubbing off on like the Migos.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And
Yeah.
he even pulled out like Nicki Minaj. You know, he's
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Yeah. My main problem with this record is that it's too long because after listening through it, there's definitely a lot of highlights on here for me. I personally enjoy Wayne's kind of like I don't want to say like free flowing. He just kind of like goes and goes and goes and goes on a track.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know what I mean. And
it's all kind of like freestyled.
It's
in
very
a sense.
freestyly. But I think he is definitely one of the best rappers to just freestyle their verses because he has a lot of really clever bars.
He's very creative.
He's very creative with his double entendres, his metaphors, all of that. His rhyme schemes can be pretty crazy. I did see a lot of like I could tell just like how a lot of rappers do in freestyles, like when they kind of like brain freeze and they can't think of like a new train of thought, they kind of repeat the same line over a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that a lot in this album on a lot of songs, and that kind of it was a little bit like I was like, okay, wait, like let's get going, like I could tell he was kind of stalling for time, and you know the kind of double-edged sword that is trying to come up with really clever, funny lines is you're gonna have a lot of really corny ones. I don't need to mention the other rapper that's kind of king of that, but Wayne does it a little bit too. So you know, for some people, it's not gonna hit. If you're fans of if you're fans of certain of that type of rap, if you're fans of that type of rapping, you're gonna enjoy it.
Why?
You know,
tell me.
Tell
me why.
But
go check out Kid Laroi album review.
Oh yeah,
mixtape review.
Mixtape review. Yeah, those are my main problems. And the one other like biggest problem for me is the album's just really dated, man. It's really dated. The production on this thing sounds like it's from 2008. You know what I mean? On a lot of these tracks.
Nostalgic feeling a little.
I get you.
Boring.
Nostalgic feeling, but hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Some of these tracks just straight up, the instrumentals just suck. Like La La, I hated that instrumental.
What I would say is the second half of the record, the latter half really drags on a bit.
Weak.
When he gets into more of those R&B pop fusions, and he gets some of the shakier production.
You can take a lick on the lollipop.
But what I want to say is the start of this record is so great. Yeah. This is the definitive Lil Wayne record, man. He brought back rap. And I think it was 2 years after Nas dropped Rap is Dead, Hip Hop is Dead, right? Lil Wayne comes out with this. And it seems like the whole record, he's almost trying to prove like, hey, rap is still alive. I'm the man right now. I'm the savior of this genre. He's got this big, bold personality.
He embodies that perfectly on Dr. Carter.
And it seems like he's referencing those classic records with the album cover of Baby Wayne in the suit, almost referring to Illmatic and Ready to Die with kind of the baby pictures on the cover.
Yeah.
So while I admit it does sound very 2008, very a little bit dated on the second half, I think this album ultimately is just a blast to listen to because it kind of just takes you back to like the height of the bling era pop rap. Yep. This was the amalgamation of everything that hip hop had kind of been trying to get up to. This, I think, was the first record in like 10 years, a hip hop record, that had sold 1 million in its first week. It went triple platinum. It was just ridiculously popular.
Yeah, it was
insane.
And
Lil Wayne just has this sense of bravado and fun that just emanates from the whole record. Tracks like Mr. Carter with Jay-Z are great, dude. And he's just spitting these fun, roll off the tongue bars that, like you said, some of them are corny, a lot of them are laugh out loud, but it's just fun. They slap. Yeah, for sure, dude. And songs like A Milli,
is iconic.
Got Money, the three-peat, the first track, just
first
like
track
is,
it's such a
great,
setter.
man.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
It's like you go in and it's like oh shit, like Wayne's like in his bag, he knows what he's about to do. Dude. And
songs like, and then when he got a little bit quieter and softer, which was kind of a weird switch up for me. Got Money with T-Pain was great as well.
Got Money was fun.
But he got a little bit softer on like Comfortable, kind of like a weird mood switch that seemed a little abrupt. I wasn't really vibing with that much.
It was all
But
right.
then I thought he kind of found a rhythm in some of the softer songs on tracks like Dr. Carter, which
I thought Dr.
I thought
Carter
that was
was
a
a lot of
really
fun.
cool aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, going into it, I had never pegged Wayne for being like kind of like a skit type rapper where it's like, yo, I'm going to introduce skits into this song. I'm going to come with this like overarching theme of like, I'm bringing rap back, with this album kind of in general.
Yeah.
I'd always, just from what I knew about Wayne, I'd always known him as like, kind of like the father of trap rap in a way.
Hey, dude.
All of that.
People had said that Lil Wayne was sent here by God to teach people how to rap.
To teach people how to rap.
And
well,
Dr.
Eminem
Carter
said he didn't remember sending anybody.
Lil Wayne's a prodigy of rap. The guy,
definitely.
Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., baby, grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I think he was making records when he was like 14. He's been a celebrity for more than half his life. It's ridiculous when you think about it, really. He's a prodigy of hip hop, and it shows on a record like this where he's just freewheeling, loose cannon, just throwing it all out there, having a blast. Yeah. And like you said, sometimes it gets corny. The track "Phone Home," right? Where he's like, "I am a Martian." I was just laughing out loud at that shit, man. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Because you have to have fun with it, bro.
But it's just like,
if he's gonna be that outlandish, he's not gonna take it that serious.
Yeah, for sure. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and I really love the whole aesthetic he's coming with. Just this freelancing, I'm here to save rap, and I'm gonna just go all out. So
yeah, and I think it was very important for him to come onto this record not being like so serious with it's like where he's like seriously like, I'm the godfather of rap, like I'm an insane prodigy, like where it's like where it's like, oh, I'm gonna hate on trap rap unnecessarily and diss like 30 trap.
Well, kind of like what Eminem does on Kamikaze.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Mumble rap sucks, dude. All these mumble rappers.
No, but he said, I don't hate trap, and I don't want to seem mad, but what Lil Wayne is trying to be is kind of like, that really fun, quirky, like out there early 2000s rap that, Eminem did really well at the beginning of his career, not to make too many parallels or anything like that, but, not necessarily in the same form, because Eminem was like way more into like, I'm going to make these crazy characters and stuff like that. But I think Wayne had a lot of that. He has a really unique, emphatic, crazy delivery on a lot of these songs. Like he's using that. And like, if you're just listening to his voice, he has a really weird voice.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah,
it's kind of uncomforting.
But he takes that and uses that to his advantage on a lot of songs, even on the songs that I don't like La La and the one where I think it was Phone Home, where he's talking about like being a Martian and stuff like that.
Yo, Let the Beat Build goes hard though.
Let the Beat Build good.
Let the Beat Build is good, man. Yeah, it's nice. And I don't think Wayne really has any necessarily like super weak verses on here. I think for the most part his rapping is pretty much on par throughout the whole thing, aside from maybe a couple songs.
Yeah.
But he never lets off the gas really in terms of
he just draws
spitting
eclectic references left and right.
Yeah.
Just like you said, spitting and spitting, going every which way.
Yeah.
I think Chuck brought up a really important point really early on, is that Lil Wayne has become such a cultural icon, such a figure in hip hop, that it's really almost overwhelmed his music. And you compared him kind of to Eminem, Dimitri, which I think is a valid comparison. I would actually say Eminem at his creative peak was put out better music.
I would agree.
Yeah, than Lil Wayne did. But I think when you just look at this as kind of like the magnum opus of everything that Lil Wayne stood for, kind of like his,
it's the perfect representation.
Outpour. Yeah, exactly. This is who Lil Wayne is. And yeah, he's flawed. There's going to be tracks on here that get a little slow, get a little more. There's going to be bars that are corny.
Dude, for every a milli, dude, you get yourself a Pussy Monster.
That song sucks. I hate
that. That was bad. That one was really bad.
That song was trash.
I'm not going to cap.
Hey, but
Whopper, you coming soon.
There's I'm trying to remember the name of the song, but he has one song where he really actually goes into like deep subject matter, and he talks about it a few times, just the state of being Black in America, and talking about his come up in Louisiana.
Was that Tie My Hands?
Was it? I think it was Tie My Hands or Shoot Me Down. I can't remember specifically, but
No, it was probably Shoot Me Down.
It might have been, but he really talks about, and he goes, and he offers up his take on that, and I was actually really impressed because I never thought Wayne
and the funny thing
would have been the type to do that.
Chronologically, in the album, Shoot Me Down is right before Lollipop.
Yeah, and Lollipop is kind of
that's such.
Yeah, I think that does go to show.
Swing.
It's a little scattered at times.
Yeah.
So, it's not necessarily consistent. But, for me, I really just enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with the project. And I think the way that Lil Wayne kind of marketed his singles kind of made, like, the top songs on the record just boom and have incredible commercial success via his, unique kind of groundbreaking marketing schemes using the internet, YouTube, all these new platforms that were coming out at the time, was also a very important aspect of this record.
Yeah. And, I don't want to overstate or, understate, how iconic the record is, no matter, whatever flaws we have with it. I'm sure if you go out and ask the vast majority of people, everyone's going to peg this, like, what are your, like, most iconic albums? When you think rap, what are the albums that come to mind? You get Ready to Die, you get All Eyes on Me, and then as you go down the line, if you're going into 2000s and 2010s, you're gonna get Carter
like
3
the Marshall
on there.
Mathers LP,
Marshall Mathers LP,
Eminem
Slim Shady LP,
Eminem Show, Revival,
Encore,
Kamikaze,
Recovery, Music to Be Murdered By.
Recovery won Album of the Year, bro. I don't know why you're all hating on me.
Hey, the Grammys are tweaking, bro. We don't respect the Grammys.
And so did what was it? The Heist with Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Yeah, the
beat
Heist
out Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Good Kid.
So I'm not sure that the Grammys are the most reliable source here.
Hey, bro, Invasion of Privacy beat Astroworld, so that was kind of when I signed off.
No, that was valid.
Okay, yeah.
Be careful with me.
What song is that? Is that off Invasion?
WAP review coming soon, by the way. So get ready.
WAP review coming very soon. But yeah, I think we
Full disclosure, 100% accurate WAP review.
Yeah, I think we can get down to
WAP is objective. Okay, it's objectively great. Yeah. There's no like
way too much about WAP, bro. I'm not looking forward to that. WAP is.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, but I think we can kind of wrap this up and talk about our overall scores.
It's been a long bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, as you guys said, it's one of the classic albums of hip hop. It's definitely Wayne's best body of work, and him being one of the statements or icons of hip hop. I think I'd put him like kind of with Jay-Z in that realm, in which their music itself isn't too like upper tier in terms of like
I think that's actually a good comparison, Chuck.
Yeah.
But he's more of like an icon.
They're in that same echelon.
Yeah, they're in that same echelon, exactly. So my review, I gave it an 8.
All right. That's what I gave the Carter 3 too, because I enjoyed the record quite a bit. But I am a guy who values production really heavily on most albums that I listen to in general. And I don't want to knock the Carter 3 and be like, I don't want to knock the Carter 3 and be like, yo, the production is trash. Where's like the heavy 808s?
It was good for its time.
Because it was 2008. At the time, it was probably knocking on like every song. But,
especially a Millie, bro.
There comes beats that are just bad on this thing. Like, I don't want to understate how bad Lala is. I hate that beat. It literally sounds horrible. But you have a lot of tracks that really hold up and stand the test of time. And the album, I think, is just really good overall. Despite its flaws and its little inadequacies, I think it's really nice. So I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you guys. I just did not get as much as you guys did for the dated sound. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I'm right there with you. I kind of felt like, idiot. Yeah, I'm just stupid. But I agree with pretty much all the points you guys made. Some of the songs in the latter half drag on, get a little too scattered, poor production. But as a whole, taking it all in collectively, I think Lil Wayne does a great job here. just delivering a fun, bombastic album. So
Definitely. Yeah.
So,
So in conclusion, Carter 3, 4 out of 10 for all of us combined. Let us know what you guys thought about the Carter 3. If you've even listened to it, or if you're in kind of our generation who is born and a little too young to be listening to the Carter 3 at the time of its release, go back, give it a listen, see how you guys feel about it. Like, subscribe, share. Road to 500K. We're getting really close, guys. Every subscriber counts. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been The Last Word.